but it hit me hard. It was at the end of my at the end of my trip. I did get sick. I thought I had malaria at one point, and I think that was the hardest point. But again, the experience I had in India was undescribable. The people are great. Getting to see those slums and the way people actually live and be happy about it was I mean, it blows your mind. Like actually being in that situation, it blows your mind. Is Poverty a good cook? I see. I don't know. I saw her cooking it up a little bit and drinking it up. That's part of Around the World for Free. You got to do what you can to pitch in. So I'm not sure how good her cooking is. I did get invited before the season started over by her house, and she did whip up some pasta and some salad. So it wasn't bad. She put some avocados in there, which is I'm a big fan of. So she's not a bad cook, all in all, I would say. What's the first thing I ate coming back home? I'm a big fan of Italian beef sandwiches, and you get them in Chicago, and I don't know if you get them anywhere else, but I think that's one of the first things I ate when I got back home. It's kind of a comfort food for me with some hot giardiniera on top. I think that's what I ate. Here's Poverty. Great meeting. Looking forward to Survivor. Not directed towards me. Broke my wrist out of Nubibia sand dunes. All right. I don't know. That wasn't directed towards me. You guys gotta understand. I'm just talking to a computer here, like a yo-yo. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm trying to answer all these. Did you give her any tips? We did. Alex obviously did Around the World for Free season one. I did season two, and we all got together before the season started with Poverty and kind of gave her some tips. There's not really much you could say with an experience like this because it's one of a kind. Each person's going to have a different experience. We just told her my actual thing I told her was just stay positive. You never know what's going to happen when you turn that corner. Things are always going to get better. Just like in life, you have your ups and downs, and Around the World for Free just comes a lot faster. So you have your definite high points when you feel like you're on top of the world, and then you have your low points when you feel like nobody's going to reach out and help you, and you're stuck in this country where you don't have a friend. So I told her just to stay positive. Everything will come, and the people are here to help. And that was the advice that I gave Poverty before we started. Thanks. Someone said I look good. I just woke up too. What are you gonna do? Um, what country had the best food? Well, for me, it's a little biased because my mother's from Italy, and I got to stay with some of my relatives when I was in Italy, and the food out there is amazing. Obviously everyone had Italian food at some point in their life, but to have it in Italy, like the freshness of it just tastes a little bit different. It tastes a little bit better, and to have my family cook it and be with my family, that was amazing. The food was amazing all over the world, but if I had to pick one, I'd have to go with my homeland or half homeland and say Italy. 100 days isn't long enough. Well, you know what? I think when you're out on the road, 100 days is long enough, and it's a long time. Surprisingly, it goes by fast, and, when you're all said and done with it. Some days are very long, and some days you're just having a blast, and they just go by like that. But the experience is something that you want to treasure forever. I agree, sometimes 100 days isn't long enough, but, let's take it in chunks here. It's pretty tough being out on the road that long. And, my hat's off to Poverty. She's almost done here. And I think she did a great job. She was really great in front of the camera from what I was watching. Very natural. And I'm sure she had a great time out on the road. I can't wait to actually talk to her directly and find out her experiences. I'm very excited about this whole thing. And, she looked great. She did some amazing things. I have to say, if one stood out more than anything, it'd have to be in Haiti. That was just a wild, wild experience for her. When the people were there to give away their children, actually just to save their lives because they couldn't afford to take care of them. It's like that was a touching moment. I think that was one that really grabbed me the most out of Poverty season. Yeah, that was crazy. I couldn't, and actually seeing something like that happens is mind blowing. Poverty said South Africa best food. Interesting. Well, I always wanted to get to South Africa. She went to a lot of places I never had a chance to go in my life. Well, obviously I didn't have a lot of chances to go without Around the World for Free. But she went to some amazing places. Brazil's another place I wanted to go. It seems like she had a blast out there. That was real fun with the jiu-jitsu and things like that. So I can't wait to just catch up with Poverty and talk about all of her experiences. Let's get to some more questions. Did you ever get desperate during the travels for Around the World for Free? I had to whore myself out at one point. No, I'm just kidding. I think the most desperate I got was in Laos. I really had trouble, getting an internet connection, and it wasn't so much the connection, is that everywhere I went to get a connection, it was next to a hotel, and you had to, it would come on my computer that you had to pay for the connection. It was a very unique situation. I was in the jungles. I went into the city. I was trying to log on. I was having trouble just logging on, connecting with the audience, and it was frightening at a moment because it was $25 to get a bus ticket out of where I needed to go next, out of Laos. And I found out that an average month salary is $25. So to ask somebody for $25 is asking for a month of their wages. And I was staying in, part of the jungle at that point. The people were awesome, but you just can't ask for that amount of money from them. So it was a trying point. I think that was probably the most difficult it got for me on the trip. But that's the one that sticks out most. All right. Jeff, you look like you're wearing eyeliner. I'm not. No, it's not a true story. All right. Jeff, you. All right. Sorry, let me try reading some of these questions here. Is there anything you wouldn't eat on the trip? Is there anything that you wouldn't? Well, on my season, I agreed before I went on that I'm going to at least try everything once. No matter how disgusting it was, I was always going to try it once. And especially even in the homes, when you're in some people's homes in different, countries, it's very rude not to eat that. So, you have to eat it at that point. But just trying different things around, like I remember I was in Japan. I think one of the weirdest things I ate was I was in Japan at that Tsukiji fish market, and they had this octopus that was raw, marinated in its own guts, and it was very, very like gummy texture, obviously, and then had the gooey guts, and I ate that at the fish market, and I guess that people dig it out there in Japan, so you have to relate to their customs and the way they do things, and you can't just look at it and be like gross and take that away from me. So you have to be very experimental and try these different things, and it's a good experience. I tried a little piece. I didn't throw up. It was good times. Let me see, Jet. Is there any country you didn't visit on the show you wish you had visited? Sure, there's a lot of places I wish I could have went. Actually, South Africa is a place that I would love to go one day, obviously, and Australia was a country that I really want to see. I've never got a chance to go there. I wanted to see that. I would like to see every part of this world. It's so big, and there's so many experiences out there, and there's so much to see that I hope I get to see some of these things one day. But living through Poverty's eyes, which I'm sure you guys all did this season, is awesome because you don't get to see some of these things. No one's going to be able to see these things ever in their lives, and the way other people live, and the way how their culture is. And this show kind of brings it to life because you're down on the ground floor actually living with these people and showing how their customs and cultures work, and it's an experience like no other. So if I couldn't do it, it's awesome to have Poverty go out there and do it, and me live through her eyes and see these different things that I probably would never get a chance to see in my life. All right, let's see. How do you stay connected with home while you are gone so long? Well, the great people at AT&T helped us stay connected. They obviously sponsored the show on my season. I think they're here again on season 3. and they kept us connected anywhere in the world, wherever we were. You know, we had our phones. I'm actually talking to you from the laptop that AT&T gave us. I still have my Around the World for Free phone from AT&T, so I'm holding on to the products that they gave me, and they're still working great. And so that's how we stayed connected. And I do want to say the coolest thing, just totally off the subject, I was at home one day, just, you know, I was checking up, you know, catching up on things from on demand because I was obviously gone all summer on Big Brother. But okay, Jordan's leaving. Sorry. So I'm checking on demand, and I go to reality TV, and what do I see? Around the World for Free is on demand. I'm like, what? How did that get on my computer? Or how did that get on my TV? And I go to it, and sure enough, Poverty's whole season up to I want to say, I think Brazil was on there. So I watched all of those right on my TV. It was crazy. So that was super cool. I mean, I was so excited. I remember I was texting Alex and Jolt, and you know, I was very excited about that. But that's besides the point. I'm just talking to myself. This is weird in here. I don't know what I'm doing. Let me get to some more questions. Which cultures seem the most interesting to you, and which one are you most interested in learning more about? That's a good question. They were all, I guess I can't be specific on which culture. Something that jumps out to me the most was when we were in Japan, just how many people there were and how organized they were. And it blew my mind. Like this, just for instance, I know everyone's probably been, taking the subway at one point or the other in their lives. And when there's a big like walkway and there's the railing in the middle, you know, in America here, people are just rushing up and down, going on either side. And when I was in Japan, it was slam packed. Everybody went up the right side of the stairwell, and not one person was on the left side of the stairwell because that's for people coming down. And that was just crazy. And me, of course, I went on the other side while we're filming like a stupid American and was like, oh my God, could you believe this? But everyone just follows the rules over there. And I mean, it's so clean and people are just following the rules. And that kind of just blew my mind that it's so organized with that much chaos. It's organized chaos. There you go. That's probably my answer for that. What else do we got? We enjoy listening to you? Well, thanks. I hope somebody is. Like I said, this is the way we do things on Around the World for Free. It's just kind of thrown at you. You're not sure what you're getting. And, we just make it happen. And that's exactly what I did on my season. I'm sure Poverty's doing the same thing. Like I said, I really wish we had like a side-by-side chat. And if we can't do that, I'm looking forward to catching up with Poverty because we have so much to talk about. We are now in this club that, there's 3 people in this club right now, and it's an elite group. We are elite. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right. All right. What's the favorite city or country you visited? Again, I want to say just visiting my home, Italy, and seeing my relatives was awesome because I've never been there. I got to see where my mother was born. But that aside, I mean, I had a rough go at it in India, but it was, very unique situation. I'm trying to think back. Everything's like jumping out at me all at once now. I was just actually talking about Around the World for Free yesterday, and there's so many stories. I mean, I could talk all day or all night about it. And just if I'm passing up one thing, I don't mean to. It's just there's so many things coming to my mind. I remember when I was in Japan, we did one episode where I kind of walked in my grandmother's footsteps because my grandmother was a big traveler and she went all around the world. And there was one picture that she took next to this monument. I can't recall right now, but I tried to stand exactly in her footsteps, and I did a side-by-side comparison, and that was awesome to me. It was very touching, and actually one of you guys sent me some pictures of that, so that was super cool. It's always be a memory that I have. What was your favorite? Okay, Poverty tweeted Around the World for Free. All right, thanks for guys for keeping me up to date here. You guys are tuning in. Thank you for keeping up with this whole situation. I know it's not exactly what you expected, but I'm trying to answer some questions. I wanted to keep it poverty related. This is this is her season. I want to keep the focus on her, but unfortunately, different situations arise. We just couldn't do it. So I guess I'll just take some of these questions right now.